Here's question 21 on homework 3. I'm asking you, what is the reading frame? So right now, all you know is, here's some DNA sequence. It has been labeled with this, so that's the identifier. So this is your FASTA format. And I told you it comes from Bacillus thuringiensis. You don't know that, but maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. It's not important at this point. But I'm asking you, what's the reading frame? And you're like, what does that mean? What I'm asking you is, if this DNA sequence got translated to protein, then is it reading this sequence as this is the coding DNA sequence, or is this the template DNA sequence? If the reading frame is -1, that minus means that this sequence had to be reverse complemented and then translated to indicate that that's where the protein is. So if you guys remember, there are 6 reading frames. The first one would start the reading from the first codon, so that would be read RF +1. If you ignore the first one and you read the next 3, that would be your RF +2. If you ignore the first 2 and you start in the third one, that's your RF +3. And if you reverse complement this whole thing and start reading, so the reverse complement here would be ATG. ATG. Oh, well, anyway, for me, I know what the ATG means. So that would be frame -1. You're not going to keep staring at this and trying to guess. The way you're going to do this is you're going to say, if this DNA sequence was translated to protein, what protein would it be? Like right now, I don't even know. Is this a gene? Does it encode any protein? The way you find out is you do a BLAST sequence that you are giving DNA information, and you're asking, what if this was protein? Would it match any protein in the database? So here I'm going to ask you a question. You can put on the chat. No. You can put that on the chat. No, I can't spell BLAST. All right. Which of these do I use? If I have a DNA sequence and I want to know if that DNA sequence was translated to protein, which protein it would be, which one would be the reading frame. So which of these? I put this question in the chat. So yeah, let's see. Okay, I have nucleotide sequence. So it's not this and not this, because this first thing here is what do you have as your query? We don't have protein sequence. We don't have protein sequence, so none of these two. So I could do it either one of these, but yeah, you guys are right. It's the BLASTX because, and you might wonder, I don't have a translated nucleotide sequence. No, you don't. You have a nucleotide sequence, and BLAST does the favor to you of translating it in 6 frames and seeing if any of those 6 fake proteins matches a real protein. So good job. Yeah, BLASTX. We're going to go there. And I think I pasted I pasted the Drosophila. Okay, so I'm going to paste this sequence. Now. Yeah, and then I run that. And see, I'm looking at protein sequences. Meanwhile, I want to show you an email that I got this morning. Oh, I'm so happy. Or last night, I guess. Anyway, those emails, okay, this is still running, so I was using it. Yes, right? It's like, Hooray! How happy I am. So Lucy was my student in 211 in genomics and in my writing intensive class. Oh, I just love her. Anyway, she was asking me for letters of recommendation. She got this job and she's like using exactly what I told her. So I just feel like I'm doing something right when this happens. So thank you, Lucy. And when you guys get jobs, you let me know because it's your victories are my victories. Okay, so here are the results, right? Okay, so I didn't really lie to you. It is the Bacillus thuringiensis, but you didn't know that. I could have written whatever I wanted on the description. And like, all right, now we know what it is. But Dr. T, where are the proteins to tell me the frame? So there are different places I could look at. So in the alignment, I'm just like, oh, look, it matched exactly this protein. So really what I gave you in that sequence was the gene. So what do I mean by matched exactly the protein? Well, because the sequence I entered matched in length exactly the protein. So that was the sequence of the gene. And you're like, where do I see the reading frame? I'm gonna like zoom in somewhere so you can, there are different places. But here's one. It says RF minus one. So that means is that sequence I gave you was the reverse complement of the sequence that is the message. So I gave you the template DNA that the cell used to make mRNA and then translates the mRNA. So the mRNA is the reverse complement of the sequence that we used as a query. So you could look at it here, RF. You could look at it here on alignments. It will say RF. Let's see, where is that one? RF. Oh, not that one. Somewhere here it also tells you the reading frame. The other thing you can do is to see these numbers. Maybe I too zoomed in right here. Oh, there you go. See frame minus one. And the other thing, it's kind of like the plus minus. Remember when you did the DNA to DNA? It said like strand plus plus or plus minus. But when we are doing DNA to protein, it says frame and then minus one here. And the numbers, here's the subject. The numbers are increasing here, but on the query, the numbers are decreasing. So this is like the plus minus orientation. And that's why you know that you gave the template DNA sequence. Okay, so that's how you find the frame. So the reading frame is minus one, that's true. The sequence specified is the template, that's true, because if it was the coding DNA, it would be plus something, plus one, plus two, or plus three. We're going to look at alignments. The first nucleotide of the reverse complement sequence is part of the first codon. So let's look at the alignment. Where is it? So it's, and that one is not matching as expected. Let me see. The first nucleotide of the reverse complement, that would be the methionine. Oh yeah, this is the guy. So because the first one of the reverse complement is the last nucleotides that we entered. And what I was hoping that you would see is that, let me show you the sequence in here. So this guy here, when I reverse complement that would be ATG, and ATG is a methionine. So this is a little cryptic. I won't ask specifically this on the exam. On the homework, what I was hoping is that you would see that this was my last nucleotides that I entered, but so that's how long my sequence was. But when you reverse complement, then it becomes the first one on the displayed in here. And let's see what else. So that's true. And the hits have significant similarity to the query. Yeah, it does. It was like red. How do I know it's significant? Because of the e-value. So e-value of 0, that's like, whoa, that's an awesome hit. Remember, the e-value, the lower, the better the hit. And the graphic summary, if it's red, you're like, awesome. That's a really good hit, a really good match.